All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Monday, July 29th. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. Clayton, historic weekend at the box office. Deadpool and Wolverine breaking records. And so we had to do it. We had to bring in, it's not an and, it's an X. It's a collab. It's the BO Boys X, the Kirk Minihane show. Welcome our guest, Podcast Jesus himself. It's not Marvel Jesus, it's Podcast Jesus. Kirk Minihane is here. Welcome to the BO Boys.
Guys, I am kind of the Deadpool of this show. I mean, once in a while, I'll swear. I'll say it. I'll say the F word. Inappropriate. Yeah. You can't bring me to a kid's party. Like, I shoot from the hip, I hip when I'm shoot. You know what? I don't know what the saying is. But you know what? I don't even give a fuck. That's the kind of guy I am. Who cares?
Wow.
Who
wow. Cares? Yeah. Here's the thing about Kirk. He knows.
Cameo. That's all of life.
Are we gonna have some cameos today? That's what I'm excited about. Will we see will Kirk play with the dead remains of a former guest from the show on this show? That would be exciting.
Right, yeah. Matt Bellany, who knows, right? Walk in. Wow. The Rock walk in. Who even knows at this point?
The thing about Kirk is he knows he's on a podcast. That's what makes him different from other podcasters. He's self-aware of that.
Yeah. Like I'm aware a podcast is going on while the podcast is going on.
Wow.
I'll make a joke about it. There's a fourth wall. Hello, there it is. I just knocked it down. I don't care. You guys care about that? I don't care about that. Whatever.
Wow, this guy he doesn't care, but the people love it, and the kids love it. Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
So here we go. We got the Deadpool of the BO Boys is on the air. Guys, before we even get into Deadpool, because Marvel trumped themselves with news this weekend. So before we plow, let's talk the big news at a Hall H, at a Comic-Con. And I'm so excited to hear the Deadpool of the BO Boys' take on this. Robert Downey Jr. unveiled himself as Dr. Doom in an upcoming Avengers movie. Kirk, we honestly we wish you had come on the show in a dollar store Dr. Doom mask and unveiled yourself the way Robert Downey Jr. did. So what is your take on this? Is this a grand triumph for Marvel and Robert Downey Jr.? Is this someone crawling back for a paycheck? I mean, what is going on here? What are you excited?
I'm not excited. I'm not a massive Marvel guy. I'm not super excited. I don't even really understand. I don't understand all of it. I don't read the comics. So is he going to he's going to be this guy, but this guy later actually going to turn out to be Tony Stark in some variation. And at the end, he's good again. Is that how it 6 movies from now?
So my guess is they have no effing, and I'm not the Deadpool of the BO Boys, so I'm saying effing. Right. They have no effing idea what is going to happen, other than the only thing they know is his lawyers agreed to the points on the back end that they offered him. And I think beyond that, they have no idea what this means. They obviously stole that Dr. Doom costume from an unaware fan at Comic-Con and rushed it on stage 5 minutes before he pulled up in a limo.
I do feel like I'm not sure he should give his Oscar back yet, but that was watching him in that bad mask was a low moment. Like Warren Beatty's not doing that in 1976. I know the world's changed, but I'm thinking this is beneath Robert Downey, who told us for months that he was happy to be acting again. But I get it. He's going to make like $200 million off this movie. People are excited, but I don't know, Clay, that feels like a Band-Aid on a bullet wound when it comes to Marvel. You're still going backwards.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, and we'll get to the Russo brothers coming back too. I think, and again, I don't want to make a mockery of this, but I'm worried for Robert Downey Jr. Because this is addict behavior. Because instead of being on the crack or the smack or the ladies of the evening, he's addicted to being in terrible Marvel movies. That is his new addiction.
Right.
And it's worrisome. It's worrisome because you couldn't stay away. Even an Oscar, the highest thing you can achieve as a human being, he gets that and he crawls back to this den of iniquity, which is Comic-Con. He was on the stage at the Oscars, right? And then he's triumphantly quote unquote, walking out in that dime store costume, in that Halloween adventure costume, to get the adulation of a bunch of people who maybe own one stick of deodorant amongst them all. That is like this is a low point for this might be the lowest point that he has ever reached.
Yeah.
Worse, I mean, he passed out in that kid's like bed or whatever that was.
When he broke into his neighbor's house. This is way worse than that.
Yeah, because when he was found in his neighbor's house, he was not found wearing a dime store Halloween costume. I think he was found maybe naked or something, but that's much better. That's much. 2 months ago, through whatever it was, 3 months ago, he's standing on a stage in front of Greta Gerwig and Quentin Tarantino and the most important, beautiful people in the world. And now he's standing in Hall H, unveiling a mask and posing like Jesus. It is quite a fall. Yeah, Kirk, I think you might be right. I think he might have to give it back. If this had happened before the Oscars, is this his Norbit? Would this have been Downey Jr.'s Norbit and cost him the Oscars if he had come out in his dime store Halloween costume right before the voting ended for the Oscars? Does he get Norbited?
It's a good question. I think so. I think this is, it's everyone goes back. Harrison Ford goes back. Mark Hamill. Everyone always goes back to George Lucas, Peter Jackson. Everyone always goes back. But this was fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking like he was going to at least, 5 or 6 years do some movies. He did that Mac show. We don't care about that. We're not streaming over here, huh? Okay,
no,
I'm just
saying.
But like, it's just like he took a shot and that was it. Like he bring me back into this thing.
Yeah.
But when Harrison Ford goes back to George Lucas or Spielberg, I mean, we're talking. This guy crawled back to the Russo brothers.
That's true. It's true.
These are sitcom directors.
You're right.
And we were talking by the water cooler earlier. I mean, the Russo brothers, those are guys, they should be owning a pizzeria. They shouldn't be doing movies. The Russo brothers should be pizzeria owners.
Yeah. And a dollar pizzeria joint. They should be the one place that at this point Kevin Costner could afford to eat now is at the Russo brothers 99 cents a slice pizzeria.
I'll say this. This is from Clayton's side of the block. I predicted that Horizon wasn't going to do well. I'm not here. No, this is not a victory lap show. I'm not here to do that. But, I got way more respect for Kevin Costner than Robert Downey Jr. At least Kevin Costner put his balls on the table.
Yeah.
He's like, this didn't work. Whatever. Fine. I'm getting my horse. Now he's the homeless guy on the horse going through little towns in America. Yep. Neighbors put him up for the night and he goes to the next town, gets a meal. He's like highway to heaven almost, on a horse.
Yeah.
But now, it's Robert Downey Jr. just he's got $10 billion and he's playing Dr. Doom for the Russo brothers.
Right. Right.
Kevin Costner has reprised his role as the postman.
Yeah, correct.
That's what he's doing.
It should be. Yeah. There you go. Yes.
Yeah. We're not the Shremo Boys, but that is a great reality show right there. It's following Costner, homeless Costner on his horse, solving adventures.
Highway to Heaven update, the old Michael Land and Victor French show from NBC, which I watched every episode of. Bring back Kevin Costner and Will Patton as the two of them. And have them go around and perform miracles.
Yes. And the whole time you've got the threat of those guys from the old neighborhood who were chasing him from town to town. Yeah,
your uncles and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yes. Yes. That I love that show. Obviously, we're not the Shremo Boys, but I would watch clips of that on YouTube for sure.
Now, with that, we mentioned Costner, and thank you, Kirk, for not rubbing it in. It's a very hard time for us all, so sure. I appreciate that. What if that person walks out in that dime store costume, takes off the mask, and it's Kevin Costner?
Wow.
What is our reaction? Because number one, of course, we're not Marvel fans. None of us really are Marvel fans. But desperate times call for desperate measures. And so if he makes a deal with the devil in order to make some money back and hopefully save his own life by playing Dr. Doom, is that something we're all more excited about?
I don't want to be the one that tells you this, Clayton, but I've had a couple of sources from the other night that were there that told me the Costner was one of the other guys, like the extras. He needed a couple of bucks. He was actually one of the guys.
Oh, yeah. he was one of the Dooms in the back.
Yeah, he needed a few bucks, so he was. I sources have told me he was doing that. I don't want to know that. I don't believe that's true, but yeah.
I mean, he's wearing a mask in public anyway, you know, because he's in hiding from the guys from the old neighborhood, from my uncle. So he might as well make a couple of bucks while he's doing it. Yeah,
hey, I'm proud of him. When we do the end of the summer, inevitably, he's one of my winners. I know the movie, but he took a shot. I like guys who take shots. Did it work? Yeah. No. He's had huge highs and huge lows in his career. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, Downey, he did the one movie. He did Oppenheimer, and it's almost the Oscar. If he was still chasing the Oscar, he probably doesn't do this. Because it's his Norbit, and he's still trying to book himself in movies that could win him the Oscar. But the second he won the Oscar, that's it. He's out. A24, he ain't taking their calls. He ain't taking Neon's calls. He doesn't want to hear from any up-and-coming indie directors. He got his Oscar. It's time to go be in the multiverse. And, you know, he's not a Costner, and he'll never be a Costner. And he'll never be his dad. He can make all the documentaries he wants about his dad.
Not quirky. Nope.
Yeah, not quirky. Not quirky.
Nope.
So I think it's time to get into the other news of this weekend, which is the box office. So Clayton, if you're ready, can you give us a plow for the Comic-Con weekend of Friday, July 27th? 6th. July 26th. There you go.
Number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine made $205 million in its first weekend. Number 2, Twisters made $35.3 million, down 57%. It added 19 theaters. It's at $154.9 million in its second weekend. Number 3, Despicable Me 4 made $14.2, down 42%. It hemorrhaged theaters, losing 502 theaters. It's at $290.9 million in its fourth weekend. Number 4, Inside Out 2 made $8.3 million, down 35%. It lost 475 theaters. It's at $613.4 million in its seventh weekend of release. And number 5, Long Legs made $6.7 million, down 43%. It lost 120 theaters. It's at $58.6 million in its third weekend of release. And we do have to talk very quickly about a newbie at number 8. Bleecker Street released a movie called The Fabulous Four, made $1 million in 1,045 theaters. Now, the reason I'm spotlighting this is because I believe that this was a little scam run by Bleecker Street to try and get people confused that this was a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So I was unaware that this movie existed until about 3 minutes before we went on the air. Clayton pointed this out. Kirk, are you aware? Have you ever heard before this moment of The Fabulous Four starring Bette Midler, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Susan Sarandon, Megan Mullally? You know, I'm looking at the Bleecker Street website right now. I'm looking at that poster. Yeah, I was unaware of this movie. Had you ever heard of this? Did you and Harry Minihane do a double feature this weekend? Deadpool and Wolverine and The Fabulous Four.
Well, I mean, it feels like that's your audience. You're always going to see these movies and speaking to old women after. So I assumed you went to see it, but I did know. I was aware of it randomly. Like a week or two ago, I saw something. It felt to me that the woman from Will and Grace, who's married to Nick Offerman, right? Megan Mullally, is that her name?
Yep,
Megan Mullally. Yeah.
Isn't she much younger than like Susan Sarandon and Bette Midler? Is she a daughter in the movie or something? I don't want to dig too deep into the plot of this film, but I was confused by it.
I'm looking at the poster right now. And based on however they laid this poster out, she seems to be the same age as them in the world of this movie. You know, I do think is what?
Does that seem strange to you guys? That would be like if, you know, like James Marsden was in Space Cowboys or something. I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
She's definitely a different generation of fame because Bette Midler was famous way before I was born. She was someone who was one of the most famous people in the world from the first time I had a memory.
Before you were born, Clayton and I, yeah. But yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We understand.
Well, yeah, I know Clayton's older than me, but we graduated college same year, so figure that out.
But movie would be like, yeah, right. Go ahead.
I saw her at the bathhouses.
You saw her first shows, yeah.
Yep.
But Megan Mullally wasn't famous until late 90s.
90s. No, this stuff bothers me. I hate when this stuff happens. But I feel like, are we at the end of these movies finally? Have we finally reached? I think we talked about this last time I was here because another one of these came out and tanked that weekend. I forget what it was. I mean,
summer camp. Yeah.
Yes. Have we finally exhausted enough of these old people who have been around and need the money? We now have sitcom stars from Abbott Elementary and Will and Grace next to Susan Sarandon. Like, are we done? Are we finally done?
That's the one that hurts, because you would think Sarandon would bring the butts to the seats, and if she can't, no one can.
Yeah, and I do think awareness is a problem, because if I had been aware of this movie, again, looking at the poster here, Susan Sarandon with the saddlebag and these glasses, I may have skipped Deadpool and Wolverine to see the Fabulous Four, because that's hitting the mark there for me. So I may have to go see this later this week, provided it's still in theaters past this morning, which it may not be. So,
that would have been the collab. It would have been Pat and some popcorn butter.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I would have lasted a Fabulous 2 possibly if the movie starts off with Sarandon in these glasses. So, not to go there, of course, I'm not the Deadpool of this. Yeah, I'm not the Deadpool of this show. Obviously, Kirk is. Yeah, right. So he could say these things. I can't.
Leave it to the pro.
Please.
But yeah, do we think anything to Clayton's theory about this movie, that it was released with this title on this Comic-Con weekend on purpose? Do they think anyone went to this assuming that it was Marvel rebooting the Fantastic Four early, or the confusion of Downey is Dr. Doom? Wait, Fabulous Four is already in theaters? That's the name and any confusion? Was there a single person
that's what I want
to see this movie?
I like to think that, yes. I mean, that is a truly horrible title. If that's, that is not even, this feels like this movie wasn't even made, right? They shot like an hour and a half and then printed it. I mean, this is unbelievable. I don't know.
Yeah, it was all dailies. It was just all dailies.
Right. I don't even get it.
Yeah, it feels like the Corman thing of they were like, can you make this movie in a week? Because if so, we could trick a bunch of nerds on Comic-Con weekend.
Yeah, if it was 1996 or whatever, and I was in, if Bette Midler and Susan Sarandon were starring together in a film, that would have been a semi-big event. That would have been, she could have been one of the First Wives Club instead of, the world has changed. But yeah, I think we've reached the end of the line on this stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this may go down as a historic movie, as the final Women of a Certain Age having a good time movie. This could be the last one.
I mean, Women of a Certain Age fatigue has definitely set in.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So what has not set in is Deadpool fatigue. Clayton, I got to say, I should be the one walking out here in a dime store costume, posing like Jesus, pulling a mask off, because I nailed it. $205 million opening weekend for Deadpool and Wolverine. Go back into the archives, last episode on this show, play the tape. I said it, 205, and the prophecy came true. So let's start with boots on the ground reporting. Kirk, the podcast Deadpool, you saw this film this weekend with Harry Minihane. So what is the boots on the ground reaction from you, from Harry?
I mean to correct you. I saw with Kate Minihane, my daughter.
Wow.
Their Kate Minihane film appearance. Yes.
Oh my Lord. So was this a triple collab, or was this still just as you and
just me and my daughter? Yeah, just me and Kate. She's senior in high school to be, rising senior, they say now. She wanted to see this movie. She likes Deadpool. She likes the joke. She likes the cameo. She likes the fourth wall.
Wow.
So she was laughing at the jokes. She was looking at her phone, TikToking away, and I was sitting there. I got messages to you. I'm not an enormous fan of the franchise, but I guess for what they wanted, it delivered. It seems like people like it. I'm not a big Ryan Reynolds guy. We're not here to talk about that, but I always say with him, I can see him trying when I watch him act. I liked it better when it was Chevy Chase 40 years ago. But hey, look, 205 million, the biggest R-rated movie of all time, right? Or is that incorrect?
It is the biggest R-rated opening of all time. And in fact, one of the records it broke is it's already the highest grossing R-rated movie that Walt Disney has ever released, beating Pretty Woman's entire domestic cue.
Yeah.
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 So bigger than any movie in the history of Touchstone Pictures.
Oh, and kids is X, so that can't be part of the equation, right? Because kids made 225 million, right, in its opening weekend.
I think kids came in a little under that. Yeah.
Okay.
I do think Deadpool and Wolverine did make more than the opening weekend of kids.
Yeah. Larry Clark directed both films.
Wow. Yeah. Well, did you miss it? That is one of the cameos that we got in Deadpool Wolverine is Chris Evans.
Somebody's eating spaghetti in the tub I saw at one point. And then,
Gummo. Yeah, Gummo definitely. There was a lot of Gummo cameos.
Gummo will return in the Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
That's who they're replacing Jonathan Majors with is Gummo will now be Kang. Because
there was a whole 10-minute part in Deadpool where Harmony was on Letterman and it was weird, and then Deadpool walked in. Very funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I loved when in Deadpool and Wolverine when the Incredible Hulk broke that chair for 10 minutes.
Yes,
that was great.
It was great.
Yeah. But so your daughter loves Deadpool and Wolverine. So she loved all the 20th Century Fox references. Like those were hitting.
She's right in the middle. She loved it. Well, she likes Deadpool the way her friends do, that once in a while it pops up on her feed or something. So she said, I want to go see this. And then when she realized that the other guy is the guy from The Greatest Showman, then all of a sudden we were off to the races. And this is how people go to movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That I mean, listen, that is how a movie opens to over $200 million. Is it's catching the people who otherwise do not give an S, and I can't, because I'm not the Deadpool of the show, who do not give an S about movies in general, but they know this character as a dancing meme on their TikTok, and they know someone else from the other movie they saw 10 years ago. That's how a movie breaks records. It gets the people who don't normally go to the movie. So Kirk, you're saying the crowd you were at, they were loving this movie. It was killer.
This crowd, the crowd was at 8 of that. Sold out, ate it up. Everyone was happy. I bet they'll get a lot of repeat business. This will be, open to 200 million. This will be 450, 480 domestic, right?
Easy. Yeah. It's a phenomenon. And, we'll talk about, you saw with the other movies that were big last weekend, they all suffered because Deadpool and Wolverine came out. This came in and just took over everything this weekend.
I went high on Twisters, but I do feel like Twisters got lost in the shuffle. I think it's going to rebound, definitely. I think a lot of it had to do with, the Heartland people who really made that a hit last week. Sort of, let's say they're trying to weather the storm of the Bazinga Bros coming into the theater. So they're all in empty pools. They're all, in their bunkers. They're all in their, their storm shelters, waiting for this opening weekend where people are freaking out about, all the cameos and all that stuff. They're laying low. So they'll come back next week. They'll come back next weekend. I assure you.
Yeah. I think it's good that the Earth Dogs and the Plain Billies and the Stacks Dwellers stayed home this weekend because they didn't want to get themselves into any trouble, because they knew if they walked into those theaters that are filled with Bazinga boys, Bazinga girls, Bazinga people, that they may have gotten violent. And they already have records, and so it was good they restrained themselves. They stayed in the bomb shelters, and they didn't go in there and start cracking nerd skulls. So hopefully next weekend Twisters rebounds. But good on the Plain Billies for showing that restraint and just not going this weekend. But you know what? And some of them probably went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine because everyone loves this. They don't all love superhero movies, but they all love Deadpool, and he hit everyone. So, my boots on the ground reporting is I saw this in San Diego. I was working Comic-Con, did not, of course, I never pay to go see this. I'm working there. I'm getting paid to be there.
Sure.
And went to a theater probably 10 minutes away from the convention center. So it's filled with the Comic-Con attendees, and they were completely losing their minds at every single thing that happened, and not just cheering when it happened, but doing the thing of a few seconds before it happened saying, "Oh my God, it's going to be Blade. It's going to be Blade. Like having the pre, you know, I mean, I'll say the pre-cum cameo situation.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. You know, listen, we're in an R-rated episode.
Sure.
You know, this is the rare R-rated episode of the BO Boys, but they were just losing it before it even happened. They basically, my crowd couldn't even get to the cameo because they were so excited right before the cameo happened. So that was the situation I saw it in, and it was a little off-putting.
So then we're talking cameos, right? I feel like with the Marvel movie, everybody who went to see this to not be spoiled by the cameos already saw it, right?
Yeah.
So we can talk about these cameos.
So this is we're putting up a cameo alert now. We're not going to spoil the plot, but we are going to spoil the cameos.
Yeah, we'll spoil the cameos, which is really the only important part of a Marvel movie we know.
Yeah.
So, Kirk, your daughter.
Yeah.
This is what. So, seeing this movie, she saw it because she liked Ryan Reynolds. She liked the guy from The Greatest Showman. When these people popped on screen, say Jennifer Garner,
right?
Was she like, oh, the woman from the credit card commercials? Or, you know, when Wesley Snipes popped on screen, was she like, why are people excited?
Yes, and more of that, or even Chris Evans, or there was not a lot of, no recognition, none. But saying the audience went batshit for that stuff. Which, again begs the question: do people go to these movies to see the movie, or do they just want to see cameos and the movie's kind of just part of it? It's okay. I never. So if Deadpool Wolverine was a really good movie, it had no cameos, I think people would be pissed when they left.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
If it had been, and of these movies, I like the second one. I was like, as far as these movies, that's a good movie. If this movie had just been as good as Deadpool 2, but had no cameos, I do think there's not riots in the street, but there are sob fests in the street of disappointment afterwards.
Yeah. But so Kirk and I, since we're Gen X, obviously, we remember when in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you would have well-known actors in small roles, and it wouldn't be trumpeted as, oh my God, look at this. It was just a person taking a role. Like when you watch A Few Good Men and Kevin Bacon's in that, it's not like Kevin Bacon. I mean, technically, I guess you could say it's a cameo, maybe, but it's not like, oh, they got Kevin Bacon, whoa, and people were freaking out. It was like you cast an actor in a movie. That's what it is. And this has become some weird thing where all these people were just cast in a movie, but for some reason, it's meant as sort of like a nod to things and a freak out and all these things. And it's like, that takes you so out of a film.
Yeah, Clayton's right. When I saw JFK with Jim Russo opening night, a movie loaded with cameos, when Walter Matthau appeared as Huey Long on the play with Kevin Costner, nobody in the movie theater was going, holy fucking shit. The place had knocked crazy. We said, good. It's Walter Matthau. That's great. Wonderful.
That's one of the original Odd Couple. Holy shit.
Ted Asner. Wow, what's he doing here? This was not happening. We sat there, we had our popcorn, and we were entertained for 2.5 hours. Going home and I didn't blog about it. This is the way the world was back then. Pat doesn't know.
There wasn't anyone in the theater who was saying, they're doing it. Oh my God, they're going to do it. Joe Pesci is here. Joe Pesci's in this.
Oh my God, Donald Sutherland. It did not happen. No,
it didn't happen. No. That is the Marvel movie of its day, is JFK or Robert Altman's The Player would be the other one. That is it.
Julia Roberts, right? Yeah.
Well, wow, remember when Julia Roberts walked?
Sidney Pollack, he's playing himself in a bar scene. Wow.
No, but remember when Julia Roberts walks out of that portal? That was a great moment. That was a great moment.
Yeah, when Lee Grant walks out of that portal in The Player, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah, the audience pop for Buck Henry and his appearance in The Player.
Oh my God,
was the loudest the theater has ever been.
He's pitching he's going to do it. Yeah, and then it was exciting. But hey, what do we know? The movie made $205 million this weekend. That's all that matters. We're here to celebrate that.
We are here to celebrate.
More to the box office, and now after the beginning of the summer, when Matt Bellany and all these guys, you have this idiot comes on my show, Chris Klemmer. He was criticizing the box office. These guys, you know, and I said, hey, stay the course. You know, how long ago does friggin' whatchamacallit see now? The George Miller movie, the prequel.
Oh, Furiosa.
Furiosa. I remember the name of it.
Years ago.
I don't know what it is. So, like, it doesn't even, now we have hit after hit. Inside Out 2 is the biggest animated movie ever. Despicable Me 4, huge hit. Long Legs, nice hit. This is going to be a monster. Twisters, huge hit.
Yeah.
Like, we're off to the races here. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back, and we were never gone.
We were never gone. That's true. We were never gone.
We got to give some credit to the man in the movie that got the summer back on track, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Yes, that's another one
in Bad Boys, because that was the one that righted the ship, and it could have went the other way. You know, that first weekend in June, Bad Boys opens at 32 million, and then, man, the Matt Bellanys of the world are writing the obits. And got everyone back on track. So thank you, Will. Thank you, Martin. There's the collab that we can't forget.
Now, Pat, I'm so glad that you mentioned, because our fans love when we praise Will Smith. And it's been a while since we did it because we've had so many hits since. But yes, if you're looking for who kicked this off and who saved this summer, you know, because again, box office economy, like our regular economy, it's all about confidence. And Big Willie gave us all confidence. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So of these cameos from Deadpool and Wolverine, was there anything that took you by surprise, Kirk, in a real way, or made you almost cheer? Because I can't imagine that you ever cheered or considered it. No, what was the closest one that got you? I mean, was it Wesley Snipes? Because, you know, for us, for Gen Xers, he's a big 90s star.
Sure. I mean, it's always, I mean, I'm a Wesley Snipes guy, I guess. I mean, I don't get excited for Channing. This is not my, it's just not my, I'm happy watching people, I suppose, be that happy about stuff like that, just because I know it's good for movies. But no, nothing really resonated. These are movies I might see, I might not see, but no, I did not see, unless I'm wrong, I did not see Harry Styles, correct?
I don't think Harry Styles as Star Fox did appear in there and got shot in the head by Deadpool. I mean, that's a difference between 205 and 225, probably. If Deadpool shoots Star Fox, Harry Styles in the head. What about the Jennifer Garner cameo? She got her little dig in at Ben Affleck, so they got that in there.
That's funny.
Yeah. Did the crowd or yourself react to the fact that Channing Tatum, his cameo was based around playing a character that he was contractually obligated to play in a movie that never happened? Because that's the whole joke there, is he was supposed to play Gambit and the movie fell apart in development. And was that something that you, your daughter, or the people around you seem to be aware of?
Well, you can tell the laughs from the people who have the I'm on the inside laugh. It's a different laugh where they're aware of the joke. So I heard a little bit of that. Yeah. I had forgotten about that, to be honest. So I had no idea what was going on, but I heard a couple of people do the that thing. Like we're in this joke together.
Yes. The laugh of a king who's watching a court jester buffoon himself in front of him. Yeah. It's the kind of knowing laugh that they turn around while they're laughing to see if who else knows that they know.
Right.
Yeah. Desperate for eye contact.
Right. They weren't as excited as I was when JFK, the video came out with additional scenes and John Larroquette played essentially Johnny Carson. Then I really popped at that point. I remember in my house by myself with the double VHS.
That's almost something that could have been in this Deadpool and Wolverine movie, is they bring Larroquette out to play Johnny Carson from the cut scene of JFK.
Be perfect. Well, Jim, I don't think we can really see the video from here. You do that whole thing all over again. Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. Michael Rooker, by the way, part of both universes. He's part of the JFK universe and he's part of the Marvel universe. I don't know how many other people can say that.
Right. Michael Rooker could walk back and forth from the portals to both movies.
Yeah, he could yell at Jim Garrison and go back and yell at Chris Pratt.
Right. And if Costner had taken the role of Dr. Doom, then Costner would have been able to both hang out with Joe Pesci and hang out with Deadpool.
Yeah.
That is the one benefit of the multiverse, I will say. Like that does excite me that those universes could cross.
Yeah, yeah. Tommy Lee Jones, I think, was in the Captain America movie, right? Was he not?
I don't think so.
Am I getting him? I could be getting that confused with.
With Men in Black feels so close to being a Marvel movie.
Yes, yeah, I could be wrong.
So yeah, does anyone from these cameos get some extra juice coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine? Do we think there's any chance that, just for a laugh, Marvel green lights Elektra 2? Do we think that being in this movie, does it give some extra juice for Channing Tatum for Blink Twice coming out in August? Like, does any of these cameos get something? Wesley Snipes, does this force right now Marvel to just forget the whole Mahershala Ali, cursed pre-production of Blade and just do another Blade movie with Wesley Snipes? Like, who is the winner of the cameos career-wise coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Well, Jennifer Garner to me just feels like she's doing another commercial in her endless commercial things. That didn't do much for me. I think Wesley Snipes is the winner. That's why I think people. He hasn't had his renaissance yet. Not really. He's been in whatever Expendables and this and that, and but I'd be an advocate for a full Wesley Snipes Blade reboot. This is not working. They've had 20 rewrites. Clearly, Ali doesn't want to do this movie. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's the slam dunk. That is the one that could benefit the most. And he has been vocal in the press about this movie and it's how it's not going well. And I think that is a mea culpa that they could do. Because look, we saw them do a mea culpa with Kang. Kang is out of here. It's all about Doom now. So why not just give the OG Blade to the people who want him? I think that makes sense. That's another thing that's going to bring the people that don't normally go see these movies to see these movies. I mean, if Snipes is there, I hate to say it, but I'm there.
Same.
Yeah. And in the movie, they did the joke of Wesley Snipes saying, "I'm Blade, and I'm the only one who's ever going to be Blade." And the screening I was at, these nerds were popping. And when I mean popping, I mean popping. And so I don't think you put the line in this movie to then a year later try and promote someone else's Blade. Yeah.
And Chris Christopherson's still alive.
They could do it.
Triple H. I mean, these guys are, they're ready to work.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Yeah.
He could come back. They got the Blade universe is still all alive.
Jessica Biel.
Biel, they could do it. They could get Biel. Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to see Elektra 2. I don't think we're going to get the Gambit solo movie with Channing Tatum. But and if you're Mahershala Ali and you're not watching this movie, but an assistant is showing you a clip on their phone from this movie, you got to be happy that maybe this is your way out of this. Florence Pugh couldn't get out of Thunderbolts. She couldn't escape, but maybe Mahershala Ali could escape this stuff.
Yeah. Yes. And speaking of Thunderbolts, because Pat, you were at Comic-Con, there was the Thunderbolts panel.
Yeah.
I want to listen, this is a monster achievement, this Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'm not going to be the negative Nancy here too much, but I do want to say everybody hold your horses about superhero movies being back because this was an event. This was an event because it had Deadpool, who's still popular. He seems to be now one of those perennial ones that you can make a movie with.
Yeah, he's a Batman.
Yeah, he's a sort of he's a Batman. He's a Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
But the Wolverine situation, but also the Hugh Jackman situation. I mean, it's Wolverine plus Hugh Jackman. So this is an event movie. This is a movie that is special. Thunderbolts is not special. The new Captain America is not special. These things will not do well because there's nothing special. There's no must-see about them other than the fanboys, the Bazinga Bros, the Bazinga Girls, the Bazinga people. They're going to want to see. If we could
call them people, people.
Yeah, they're going to want to see the Thunderbolts cameos, but at a very lower rate than here. This is a conversation piece. This is people going to see this movie because they don't want to be left out of the cultural conversation. Nobody's going to go see Thunderbolts because they're afraid everybody's going to be talking about Thunderbolts. So again, it's great to have superhero movies that are blockbusters like this, and that's what they should focus on. As much as we're railing on RDJ and the Russos, make those Avengers movies because those are going to be events.
Right.
But you don't have to make the little ones in between. You don't have to, because all they do is just suck excitement away from the big ones.
Yeah, I'll say this, boots on the ground from Comic-Con. The screening of Deadpool I was at, the trailers beforehand, they showed the trailer for Captain America Brave New World. And in a room full of people who do every backstory of every cameo in the Deadpool movie, that type of audience, they got everything. They were dead silent through this Captain America trailer. Just no reaction to anything, to none of the songs that were playing to try and provoke a feeling in you in the movie. Just nothing. But they also showed the trailer for Beetlejuice earlier, and that one caused excitement. People were responding to every change in that. Winona shows up, when Beetlejuice shows up, people are going bananas. Coming out of Comic-Con, that's one of my big observations, and seeing the cosplay. The two top cosplays I saw at Comic-Con this year were Beetlejuice and Thelma. Those were the two movies I saw the most people, and a lot of people who I assume that was Thelma cosplay I was seeing a lot of.
Sure, you're right. Yeah.
But other than the Thelma cosplay, it was Beetlejuice is everywhere. So that and the reactions to the trailer. I mean, Kirk, what is your take a few months out on Beetlejuice? Because right now could this do 100? That's how high I am on the opening weekend of this movie. Yeah. What is your take? I mean, coming out of Comic-Con,
zero chance of that happening.
Zero. Okay.
Zero. You're inflating the desire of that, the popularity of that franchise, I think.
Okay.
I'll fully admit I am not actually a huge fan of Beetlejuice. I'm a fan of the entertainer Beetlejuice from the Stern years, of course.
Yes.
But if he was in it, I could see it. But
good for you.
That could be the cameo. That could be the cameo.
That would be great. Yeah, sure. But I think it's too far out.
Too far out.
I would say closer to 50 than 100.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be great. It opens at 70 million. That'd be fantastic. I think it's maybe I'm totally misreading it and it's going to be huge. I hope so, but I don't get that. I don't get that sense.
I could be inflating it because I was just seeing Beetlejuices everywhere. Young Beetlejuices, right. Old Beetlejuices, all shapes and sizes Beetlejuice cosplay at Comic-Con. So I could be inflating it coming out of there, but that was the cosplay I was seeing everywhere. And I've seen that's always been a popular one all the years I've been paid to go to Comic-Con, but it exploded this year. So,
Kirk, you don't think the Jenna Ortega factor plays into this at all? Because obviously she helped rewrite the script. We know this.
Sure.
Yeah. Because she writes all her stuff. But she is an emerging star. And I think that is the bump. I mean, 100, I would love it. I don't think 100, but that could put this into the 60, 65 range. I mean, this could open Twisters.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Jeffrey Jones is not in this film, I assume, correct?
He was in Deadpool, though. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, he was. Yeah. It was very funny. He was with Matthew Broderick. I laughed. It was very good. That was a good moment. Yeah. That was
they were two of the Deadpools in that final battle scene. It was Jeffrey Jones, Matthew Broderick, and the Menendez twins. That's
right. Yeah. It was surprises. Yeah. That was, that's wacky, but of course it's going to be wacky. We're in Deadpool world.
It's Deadpool. The dad from Alf was in there, and you just got to look for him, and he's there. He's always there.
R.I.P. Yeah.
So Deadpool and Wolverine, we're moving past that. Now looking to August. Kirk, is there any movies that you're particularly excited for, either just to see or box office wise? Because it's a pretty big August in terms of quantity. You got an Alien movie coming out soon. You got Shyamalan's Trap comes out on Friday.
Yep.
I mean, let's look, and you've got that Borderlands movie, which is trying to trick people to thinking it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Anything that you think, and we got the Channing Tatum Blink Twice, which, you know, maybe him being Gambit in this movie gives him a little extra buzz, washes away the stink of Fly Me to the Moon a little bit, so it helps that movie. Anything that you think is going to overperform in the next couple of weeks?
Well, typical woke lib. He doesn't even mention Reagan, which comes out August 30th. No surprise. Trying to blackball our former president. It's unbelievable.
I mean, the cameos in that could really break. Does Reagan cross over into the JFK universe?
You run the Olympic opening ceremony, Pat? I mean, geez, God almighty. Yeah, that would be good. Some Reagan cameos would be great. I'd be all in for that. I'm actually most interested box office and just how the movie is going to be by the Shyamalan. That's the movie I'm most interested to say. I'm most intrigued. I'm a Hartnett guy. I'm all in for this one. Trailer looks great. Premise looks great. Will he actually deliver? Will it stink? You can tell me it's fantastic. I'd buy it. Awful. I'd buy it. But it feels like there's actually a little bit of hype around it. Now, it's a tough week, I suppose, this week coming out. You know, there's still you have all the, week 2 of this. Twisters is still big. But like, do you guys have any? I mean, I don't want to get you guys ahead with prediction wise, but what's a number that you feel comfortable right now with that movie?
Well, and so I think M. Night Old was a movie that came out a few years ago and did really well. With Sleeper, did really well.
I think it opens to 16 or so, probably. Yeah.
The last one though, the cabin one, I think that was sort of a miss. It was a misfire. So if he would have been coming right off of Old, then I think Trap would still have that momentum. I think we're again in this shaky area of like, can M. Night make another good one? I'm confident. I'm also, like you said, I'm a Josh Hartnett guy. In fact, I'm going 40 days and 40 nights before seeing this movie in homage to our king. And so that's why there's more of a little spring in my step. I'm a little bit more edgy right now. But I think that this movie is going to do well because I think that trailer is so batshit. And people are just wondering, is this the whole thing? This can't be the actual thing. It can't be that this guy is actually a serial killer. That can't be it. So that we are all sort of engaged in what is this situation. So I do think this movie is going to do pretty well, just because it has a really cool premise. And we're all
I think it's past the Shyamalan. Like, I think just the average film goer says, "Oh, this is interesting." It doesn't. Some people don't even know who's directing it.
And we know that it's a M. Night experience, and we're signed up for it. I mean, I'm always signed up for an M. Night experience. So I do feel like this movie is going to do better than Cabin, for sure, just because the concept is a little bit, and people love Hartnett. He's having a year.
Yeah, he should get. It'd be a nice moment at the film premiere if Downey Jr. gives his Oscar to Hartnett for Oppenheimer after taking the W. That's what they should be doing.
Yeah,
that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. It should be, at this point, Downey should, even if he doesn't give it up completely, should have to lend out the Oscar until he's done filming as Dr. Doom. And then maybe he gets it back afterwards, after the movie premieres, but let Hartnett carry it around for the next couple of years, like Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that Trap seems more like Old in terms of it's going to be fun in a way that Knock at the Cabin just seems so grim from the start. So I think this will be fun. We got our tickets. I'm looking forward to it. So so Kirk, before we go, because I know you're getting right off mic and then going back on mic for your show live stream. Huge. I hear this huge news going on. This is a huge day. So we'll all be watching live.
Thank you.
But speaking of live show, Boston.
Look out.
The collab. B.O. Boys, ex Kirk Minihane, November 16th, the Comedy Studio in Boston.
Yep.
And, I don't know if your financiers have let you know yet, but VIP tickets already sold out.
I heard
General admission going fast. So there's a few left. You got to buy your tickets now. Are you excited about possibly the biggest box office weekend that any of us have ever been a part of, the live show on Saturday, November 16th?
I am excited. I am ready. As always, whatever you guys need, I'll be there. We'll have a good time. What will be in the air movie wise at that point? Are we Gladiator 2? Is that
Gladiator 2 will be coming out in a few days, so we'll be previewing that.
Okay.
But I mean, this is something we're gonna have to do whether we want to or not. Our show's on a Saturday. That Friday, so that Thursday is the opening of Red One, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh no,
we will have to have seen it. Yeah,
gotta go.
Yeah, so we gotta go. So I think that is one of the big hooks for this show is we will have seen Red One.
Are you able to put your rivalry with The Rock? Can you be fair and unbalanced or no?
Oh, I don't think so, but I don't think that's what anyone wants.
No,
so,
I don't. No,
yeah.
Right.
So no, we could say here that we will be completely swayed by personal hatred and grudges. So yeah, that's a big selling point for the live show is we're coming in hot. Yeah.
What are the chances that The Rock has a tweet ready promoting Red One, dissing Deadpool, where he's like, "Congratulations, Deadpool, but get ready for the real Red One."
Ooh.
Oh wow, someone's got to stop him from sending.
I think someone stopped him already.
Yeah, someone's got to stop. God, he can't do it. He can't do it. I want him to do it, but he can't do it.
He was like, Deadpool thinks it's big. Hold my piss bottle. I'm about to tweet and change the power structure.
Yeah, he can't. There was a power structure line in Deadpool and Wolverine. They tweaked him just a little bit. They did say it. They tweaked him. So yeah, November 16th, Kirk Minihane, BO Boys Live in Boston. So get your tickets if you haven't already, because my God, that's going to break records. Email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at theboboyspod, Twitter, X, and TikTok, of course. And watch us on YouTube. We are YouTubers. Hey guys. And yeah, Kirk, anything that you want to plug before you get back on mic to start? I mean, that's the big thing. Watch, but go for it. Anything you want to plug?
Show? No, we get the show. We got I guess we have some live stuff coming up that we're gonna do, but yeah, nothing we do. Yeah, we know we're good. We're good. I'm always happy to jump on with you boys. And again, I apologize. I bring the Deadpool angle. I know you guys get uncomfortable with that. I don't want to, but yeah, I'll try and keep it, in a live show, I'll try and be gentlemanly, but I can't help it. If something happens, I'm going to do something.
No, I mean, ever since the corporate merger, we just got to deal with it. But hey, listen,
it is,
we make the greenbacks off of it. So we'll take it. So
I will. Final thing, because I did talk. I still can't believe that Helen Hunt didn't play the Maura Tierney role in Twisters. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense.
I got to think that was totally written for her to play that part, and that was negotiated, and they just couldn't make the agreement with her lawyers on the points on the back end. But that part was written for Helen Hunt to be the mom. Had to be.
And to your point, they just kept going down the must-see TV line until they got Maura Tierney, I guess. Which makes sense. Yeah.
And they never got to Megan Mullally, and that's why she's in the Fabulous Four this weekend.
Like Brooke Shields, True.
Yeah, they did. Sharon Lawrence, that was never considered.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I think we've said it all. I mean, there's nothing, right? Can't be. I gotta go.
Pat, you said enough.
Yeah.
Except for until next time. We'll smell
you at the box office. Nailed it.